to sow that much of area, how much seed is required. Serious problem that when requirements are not produce the seed. Then second thing is there is wide gap between 4S seed availability and requirement. Yes, this is very much uh, the reality is that there is a lot of gap, because and being a part of huge demand in our country, and there is availability is to the tune of very less, and the demand for high quality forest seed primarily from government agencies and non-governmental agencies like forest department, watershed department, then like agricultural department. There are so many departments which approach us because develop grazing lands. They want to convert the wastelands, and they even forest people want to develop grazing lands outside the forest area so that not penetrate or should not enter into the reserved forest area. So many things available. This is how the forest seed demand and availability just highlight in a very straightforward manner the availability with regards to cultivated fodders like annuals, and the availability is only 15 to 20%, whereas in case of the perennial fodders, that is range grasses and range legumes, the availability is less than 5%. You can imagine the serious stage where we are, and where our animal husbandry is moving forward under this such type of conditions. And the seed production package of practices are not available, especially the location specific seed production packages are not available. And I told there are so many niches. We have the package of practices for purely cultivated crops, but the niche area package of practices are not available, and they are the major clients of ours. This is how the thing is available. And there are n number of reasons. We can count on n number of reasons why that status is like that. But the first and foremost thing is that, yes, of course, it is this field is a highly neglected field. Maybe in our due to our overpopulation, human population, because to feed our human population, all our resources are directed or devoted for that purpose only. And this development of this forest status or forest scenario in our country is not given that much of emphasis. Only the government or the people will realize the importance of these forest crops in either in case of drought or either in case of flood. This is how it has been restricted to only such situations. So the major reason is, as the first point I have mentioned here, is no seed chain. I think you all are aware that what is seed chain in our country. Every seed is produced through by using in a seed chain manner, that is from breeder seed to foundation seed to certified seed to, in some cases, truthfully labeled seed. This is a chain where we follow. There is an indent to the Department of DAC, Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, for breeder seed production, and there is indent from different state government organizations for allotment of foundation seed, certified seed, and likewise. So actually in majority of forest crops, in majority of especially perennial forest crops, this seed chain is missing. There is no link between these type of seed production programs, which I will show in the next slides. And another important factor is that, yes, if somebody is coming to produce the seed, and somebody, where is the market? Where is the market? Who is going to purchase the seed? If some farmer is willing to purchase, if some other agency is willing to purchase, then where is the market? And you all know that in India, the seed production system is divided. There are 2-3 major players in seed production. One is government organizations, another one is private organizations, and the rest one is maybe informal seed sector. That is maybe farmers, maybe some NGOs or some cooperatives. They are doing the seed production. So second thing is, as I told, that marketing is the biggest problem, because these forest crops, especially perennial forest crops, seeds are not consumed, whereas in rest of the other crops or food crops and all that is used directly for consumption purpose also, and also for seed purpose also. But here, if you doesn't ensure the proper marketing or proper price, proper buyback policy, I think we are not going to improve the situation, or nobody is coming seed over a period of time. And another important reason for our status, not very huge amount of seed, especially the Barsim. I think almost 95% of our requirement of seed is imported from Egypt. Then the similar with the sugar beet. Sugar beet, what now it is also called as fodder beet, which is becoming, which is already popular, especially in case of in the state of Maharashtra, Karnataka, and also in Gujarat. Farmers are growing on a very large scale, and entire seed is imported by different private companies. And as I already highlighted, no authentic demand and supply. And forages are region and season specific. They are highly region and season specific. Just to highlight, there are different crops. I will just show it in the next slide. Each forage crop is suited only for a specific area, like Barsim, especially Barsim is suited for an entire. Lucerne is preferred, and Lucerne is highly suited in the southern part, central part, and also the west. And the Lazarus, where it is in highly arid conditions, it is highly suited crop. And the signal crop, area, and Guinea grass and other crops which are the country like Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and all these things. So these are highly region specific, and that's why I told this is one of the problem which pose in the seed production programs. Another important problem these forest crops are the fodder productions cannot be separated. This is another very important part or crucial point. If 100 farmers to our center for want of seed, and they are collecting the seed, what for they are collecting? For their biomass yield, for their biomass requirement. Drawback in these crops, this and the normally what happens, the farmers take the seed or planting material, and they want very growth, so that their routine requirement of biomass or green fodder. Another important part in this crop is that majority of these forest crops are poor seed yielders, because breeders has always given emphasis on higher biomass yield rather than seed yield. So because of that, they are very poor seed yielders, and there are so many problems there, like the chaffiness in seeds, lightweight. There are so many issues with these. Just to highlight the seed chain, you all may be knowing. Just I want to represent here in a what is that? In one slide, nuclear seed, the tag color, the breeder seed is golden yellow, and which is produced by the breeder and monitored by the institute itself. Whereas from foundation onwards, it goes to certification agency. Does the certification and issues the tag and label. This is how the seed production system, generation system in our country. But in case of forest crop, this system is not followed. Just to highlight, or just to give one example, see, we have released so many varieties from IGFRI. IGFRI is a research organization. So we are custodian, or we are producing breeder seed in majority of the crops upon receiving indent from different agencies, or we are ready to produce the seed in different varieties where we have released the varieties, where we IGFRI released the varieties. But the thing is that after breeder seed, there are no the government agencies, the state government, or seed corporations, or national seed corp, or departments of agriculture, or Department of Veterinary and Animal Husbandry, or other agencies which are looking at, or NDDB, or what is that, federations. They are rarely approaching the institutions like us for of breeder seed, or want of the breeder seed. We are releasing the variety, and that's it. the multiplication and distribution of those varieties is not taking place. And many a time, whatever breeder seed we are producing, that is directly being used by the farmers for production of green fodder. This, if this is a status, say for example, if breeder has around 150 kg seeds, how it will multiply into quintals? It is not happening in reality, except very few crops, which I will show here. The seed chain, very few crops of forage crops are available in seed chain. See here, only forage crops are available in case of Kharif season, that is especially in case of annuals, and in case of other crops, it is just four. In case of Rabi, it is just 4 crops: Barsim, Lucerne, Oat, and Gobi Sarson. Very few crops are in seed chain and indented. See, in case of just I have highlighted that Barsim, we import very huge quantity of seed from Egypt and other countries. But domestically, how much of breed? Very few quantity, very less quantity of breeder seed indent we are getting. So this doesn't match. One side we are importing huge quantity of seed, and other side we are getting very poor indent for production of breeder seed. So this is how that are running in our country, and this is how the situation is going. In cases, the quantity indented is very meager, as I have highlighted in case of very meager. Many a times it won't be lifted, and many a times the breeder seed is directly going to produce the fodder. This is the situation, and they let or apprise you about the agencies which are involved in forage seed production, apart from IGFR are doing it. Apart from IGFRI, there are NDDB, National Seed Corporation, state seed corporations are there. Especially they are more in annual fodder crops. Then regional fodder stations, there are 8 regional fodder stations spread across the country, doing seed production of perennial and annual fodder crops both. There are few ICAR in strike, Kazri. These are doing seed Kazri, especially in case of Cenchrus seed production. Lazarus, they are doing seed production. Then there are few private companies which are in the system. They are doing seed production of especially annual crops like sorghum, bajra. Nowadays, you are seeing this one rai, selling it here. And there are other rest people are the private growers, farmers, and cooperatives. They are doing in very limited quantity of seed production in forage crops. Also, of fodder seed production agencies in cooperatives like state-wise in Milk Federation, they are doing seed production of especially the forest sorghum bean. They are supplying it through their outlets, giving freely distributing to the farmers, so that the milk production increases. Likewise, the other state is the seed production in different crops. Low seed production, as I told, forage is not at an economic. Nobody has considered forage as an economic commodity till now, like other commodities. We have not consider this as economic commodity. And value of seed and hay realized by cultivators and many by policymakers and government department highlighted. They have their own set of things to do. They are prioritizing their own prioritization, like food crops, like pulses, like oil seeds, likewise. But the bottom in the table is the forage improvement or fodder crops improvement. And veterinary personnel in control of forage production. Really, there is always tussle between the animal husbandry department and who it is. The fodder crops are comes under their purview, and agriculture people say in under their since it is eaten by animal, only veterinary people have to take care. Like a football from one place to another place, it keeps moving on. And because of those these issues, there is a lot of problem in giving concentration or disturbing seed production chain. As I told, once see, you can imagine, once breeder seed directly goes for fodder production, the multiplication two or truthfully labeled, it breaks. Because of that, there will be shortage in the market. And the constraints in large scale seed production of fodder and process, as I have already identified places for, especially as I have told itself, range and pasture crops. There are cultivated for crops, yes, there are identified places, like as I have told, Barsim, as I have told, Lucerne, especially in case of Gujarat. Gujarat is doing maximum seed production in the country in case of Lucerne, and likewise some other crops. But in case of perennial fodder crops or range forage, range and pasture crops, there is some problem. No proper estimate demand and supply. Forget about when we don't have the cultivated species of forage under estimation. Forget about the and range grasses. Lack of technical know-how of seed production. Yes, a lot of differentiation between the seed production of other crops and the forage crops. The forage crops are, as I told, shy seed yielders. They are highly sensitive, highly photoperiod sensitive, and the seed is, what is that, apomictic seed setting. Majority of range grasses set seeds through apomixes. Seeds are in very light, very what is that, light, and they need proper care. Proper timing is required. If you delay the harvesting, if you delay the visit to the 3 days, I think 60 to 70% of seed shedding is there. And in case of at the time of seed maturity, if there is rainfall, if there is wind, of course these are the things which really creates a huge loss in seed production program. Accessibility to preferred variety of forage crops by farmer in time is very poor. Yes, forget about variety. Crop itself is not won't be available many a time. And yes, of course, indeterminate growth habit, uneven maturity. There are so many crops within a year header, within a panicle, there is differential maturity. Seed shattering or shedding is very common in case of especially range grasses and legumes. Blank seed and unfilled seed I have already highlighted, and especially in case of Guinea, as per Indian minimum seed certification standards, the germination percentage is 20%. You can imagine how fluffy or how blanky the seeds are, because it is one of the good example of apomictic seed setting. Likewise, in a signal grass or in bracharia, we just get the germination percentage of just 10 to 15% itself. Then problem in seed collection, as I told, many a time there is uneven match within a panicle. We won't be able to sing. So there is problem, highly labor intensive. Actually, the proper way of collection of, in case of range grasses and especially styloxanthus and all these things, is every day you need to visit, just tap the earhead in some basket or bag or something and collect the seed. Cut at a time the single panicle in one harvest. And another important and very common problem is the seed dormancy and poor germination. Invariably, majority of forage crops undergo dormancy immediately after harvesting, up to I think 6 months to 8 months period. And immediately the farmer or the want to sell immediately, or the farmer who want to cultivate it immediately, face a lot of problem with respect to seed germination itself. This is with regards to, as I told, indeterminate growth. It means in most of the range grasses and legumes and in some cultivated crops, there is no synchrony between reproductive and vegetative growth, which causes flower lower flower, lower seeds have already highlighted, and low setting. Yes, of course, as I told, these crops are especially crops, highly temperature sensitive. Then seed shedding is very, very common. Just I don't know how many of you know heard about Styloxanthus ham. Smothering the weed. It is also suited for controlling the harvesting at the time of when because very few people in our country do the seed production in Styloxanthus hamata. A few agencies, government agencies, we do seed production at Dharwad and Styloxanthus hamata. So at the time of maturity or at the time of harvesting, and almost 9 very, very, very long period of flowering in this crop of December, January. So as and when the flower comes, within it matures and set seed, and by the time the crop matures, almost 90% of seed sheds. And when we cut the haulm after drying, due to that jerking, remaining 5 to 10% seed shedding. So we collect the seed literally by sweeping the entire land, entire. So you can imagine the labor, how much labor and how much cost it involves, and all these things. So this seed shedding is very, very common, especially mechanization in forest crops is very, very poor when we compare with the rest of the crops, to be addressed over a period of time. Lodging of seed crop, yes, of course, as I told, these varieties are bred for high vegetative growth, high biomass yield, hence loss is common at the time of maturity. And also the low density of panicle producing tiller and all these things. This is a photographs to show that how to collect the seed the best way. Instead of cutting the entire pellicle in a sink to tap the go visit the individual panicle, tap it, and collect the panicle exhaustions, or maybe 10 to 15 days. In case of Guinea, in case of bracharia, in case of Rhodes, and all these things. Then blank seed, as I told, 20 to 25% seeds remain viable, and major portion collected seeds are empty. This is true, where I told, and majority of side effect, we can see that, as I told, highly temperature sensitive and photoperiod sensitive. It means that the side effect. And mechanization and post harvesting a machine which we use for processing of other seeds. So there is a lot of research work carried out, but this work is not transformed into applicable technology. Nobody has conformed into converting technology in case of green fodder harvesting, bale making, and all these things. But we want to cultivate the seed, we want to grow through, propagate the fodder crop through seed. We need to, because the seeds are high, that the precision sowing is not effective in these crops. So when we do seed letting, of course we can achieve the very good what is that precision sowing, means where you want to sow the seed, especially just to highlight here, especially in case of bone of their economy is beef industry, and they cultivate bracharia, grazing. Actually, their system is grazing based, not like stall fed system like us. So they said they do seed pelleting, and they many a time they go for aerial sowing also in case of in Brazil. So in a way, yes, these are the technologies which need to be this is already very proven technology in many of the crops which need to be applied in these crops and which need to be distributed to the farmers. And at the end of the day, what are our objectives from these things is that yes, uniform establishment and successful establishment, so that the right land population we should have, and of course the desired yield we should get from these things. And there are so many rules which are supporting these things, like Indian minimum seed certification standard. These standards are available to ensure the quality of seed in the market, to ensure and there are seed testing method, ISTA seed testing methods. So achieving high standards is largely the low role of grower, seed cleaning or seed processing operations, and quality assurance. The quality assurance, your certifying agency, seed testing agency, or this is how. So the seed production or seed quality, what is that, is ensured under this law. And what are the need of the hour to, I have been till now, I have highlighted you in detail about not in detail, in brief, about the status where we are and how to overcome this. And the technological in need of the hour, there are many, but with respect to technological interventions, yes, there is a need to develop varieties and their package of practices for different reasons and requirements. And identifying specific areas for higher and economic seed production of specific crop and varieties. Yes, we need to take it on a mission mode, certainly on a mission mode, so that ensure the availability to the farmers whenever he is required, because there is no particular season for these crops. Farmers kharif crops or crops for forest crops. I think there is no restriction of cultivation these crops. Suitable package of practice and transport mechanism. Yes, there are so many technologies have come up, like high density and all these things. And nowadays you can see, especially in case of vegetable crops, micro nurseries and vials are available. In that they supply huge quantity of the seedlings from one place to other place. Seed coating of forage crops for enhanced germination and vigor. This is also one of the gray area which needs to be, especially see, you might have heard about the Incotec. Incotec, what they do only seed coating. Seed coating of which crop? They do seed coating of vegetable crops, because it is low volume, high value crop. Incotec is only the company which do only coating, seed coating. Private company people send the seed to that company and they will coat it and they will give it back to the company. So almost you can see majority of vegetable seeds sold in the market are coated. Likewise, we can same can adopt in forest crops, and we can ensure the higher germination with good what is the application of different growth regulators. Crop enhanced. And another thing is how to overcome it with regards to the availability of fodder in general and forest. Just yes, of course, it is very, very difficult to expand our cultivated land, because every year our population is increasing. Every year the land dividing system is going on, and so many urbanization, mechanization, industrialization, concretization, so many things. So just we need to concentrate on the area which are under forest, grasslands, and other uses, the wastelands, that is up to 75 million hectares. So this is one of the gray area which we can use it for the cultivation. Then we need to have seed production atlas. Forest seed production depends on number of environmental and physical factors such as photoperiod, thermoperiod, humidity, and soil conditions. Hence, there is need to prepare a seed production atlas for the entire country for complete production and marketing. In this endeavor, free zones also can be included and mapped. Then policy issues is that yes, among the farmers are likes to keep new varieties. There are so many people. We first and foremost thing they are all aware about the different forest crops. They are not at all aware about where forest seeds are available. We are aware that none of the seed selling outlets in the market keep the forest seed. Very few. Only people visit universities, agriculture departments, or somewhere for want of forest seeds. But otherwise, especially perennial food crops, I think none of these people sell the seed. And identifying specific areas or season for specific varieties with the action plan in advance, so that seed is available to farmers before sowing season. This is the should be the motto to address over a period of time. And strengthening seed supply of breeder seed, supply system of breeder seed is important. Strengthening seed chain through milk federations, as milk federations are our what is that biggest clients, and they are the biggest hopes. Through them enhance the availability of seed and distribute the seed, because majority of many of milk federations distribute the seed, but very often the quality of seed distributed is very poor. Upscaling the pace of release of fodder varieties, yes, it has been taken care, and it is being done in many cases, many crops where varieties are not there, where since past 10 year, 20 year, yes, of course, they have considered that point, and they have reached so many varieties in the recent past, reducing the standards also. Need for organized seed chains, as I told, the proper seed chain in forest crops. It is unorganized sector where the quality of seed is always we need to sweep the entire land, and especially the seed which is being in entire India, in only one place the seed production is done by the farmers. That is near Bangalore, it is actually in Andhra Pradesh, but which is near Anantapur district, where the farmers do the seed production. And as I told, since it is field is swept, it naturally it has a lot of inert matter or lot of mixture. So the seeds sold in the market, especially in the in the Semeta, we have collected the samples from different locations, and when we tested 80 to 90% inert matter was there. Only 10 to 20% seed content was there. So since in another, yes, we can't ensure the quality, we can't ensure the variety specific. It is just maybe mixture of varieties, so many things. So proper banding or packaging and marketing of new varieties is required. Then incentives for assured market for encouraging seed production. Yes, this is very important. We have minimum support price for in different crops, whereas these crops doesn't have minimum support price. Why not? We should give incentives to the farmer or to producer, because he's helping to improve the situation here in forest crops. And scarifying fodder seed incentives to yes, why not? Instead of encouraging, instead of giving incentives for market and all this, we should give incentives, we should give subsidies to the farmers, those who are willing to produce the seeds in case of forest crops. Collaborations, yes, of course, as I am active collaboration among different stakeholders for solving important problems is important. And in case of collaborations, yes, as I have already highlighted, that government agencies, they are least bothered about doing seed production in forest crops. They're doing in a very limited scale, and they are unable to do enhance, maybe due to their staff problem, maybe many problems. There are n number of problems. And private people, they are only concentrating on low volume, high profit business. And who left when government people are not doing, when private people are not doing? Who left to do the seed production in these crops. So because of that, the IGFRI and there are so many universities and so many government agencies doing participatory seed production in many crops, almost all the crops. But as a part of IGFRI, as part of this, we are doing participatory seed production in I think many of the forage crops. I will just highlight in the next slides for seed production. And then NSC seed production involving Milk Federation, National Seed, State Seed Corporation, National Seed Corporations, in case of perennial crops is important, because they, as I have already highlighted in the initial slides, seed production in annual crops, not in range and pasture grasses. As I told, this is one of the need of our technological intervention is that a blank seed. I was highlighting you that majority of our seed lot, especially in range grasses and legumes, here undergo blank seeds. So you can see here, especially here, there are so many blank seeds. Here, this is a selected lot, but you can see there are so many. X-ray radiography is one of the tool through which we assess or we just determine our seed loss of filled seed percentage is there. Then this is farmers participation production. Just I am highlighting our experiences with this program since past 5-6 years. It was started in 2014-15 in case of Styloxanthus hemata itself, because it is largely done by the farmers, and there is a lot of demand for this crop. So here the farmers are selected based on the size of the land holding and their facility, whether it is irrigated or location of land. If it is irrigated, we prefer to give them irrigated crop, and if it is rain fed, then we give the rain fed crop only. We allowed him the rain fed crop. The farmers were to get registered with the seed production organizer with us by filling a form, submitting details of land holding, blank accounts and everything. And agreement is signed between ours and the university and all these things. The seed production was allotted based on the requirement or target for the year, season and crop suitable for the location of land. Then registered seed producer was asked to purchase a perennial seed from either IGFRI, or if we are not the parent seed producer, we will ensure that the right quality of seed is supplied to him through us for seed production. Then a grower has to intimate the date of sowing, cutting, harvest to the institute well in advance. So we are selecting the farmers first. We are undergoing one memorandum of agreement. Then we are helping him to give the quality seed for production. Then we are monitoring all operations, including sowing. Every operations we are monitoring. We are visiting his field whenever required, maybe at least minimum of 2 times, minimum of 2 to 3 times, to ensure the quality, to ensure the seed production, to ensure that the seed production plot is mixture free or is of good standards. And the produce should be, once it is all monitoring, everything is done, the produce should be stored with the seed grower until the seed procurement is communicated duly. And upon cleaning and all these things, we ask the farmer to bring the seed to our center. If required, we will get it processed at processing plant. Then we will, as I told you, the seed should be supplied to the nearby identified processing plant, especially the IGFRI or our station or university, because the nearest processing plant we will send the seed to for processing. And after processing, after cleaning, labeling and everything, we will be taking a sample for its quality evaluation, seed quality testing. And once the sample meets the seed standards such as moisture, physical purity, germination percentage, then the seeds were packed, and as per official price, the seed is sold as TFL seeds. In this participatory seed production program, we are doing mainly the TFL seed, because till now, whatever the seed we are producing is used for fodder production. So that's why we are doing the seed production in TFL seeds. Otherwise, we are doing breeder seed production for indent, and that is based on indent also. But in case of commercial purpose, we are doing the TFL seed production. And one important thing, or one important beauty here, is that the whatever the final bill amount is there, the bill amount is directly deposited in the farmer's or client bank account, the client bank account. So the after processing, if quality found below standards, the seed lot will be rejected or handed over to him, which is the chances of which is very, very less here, because only undersized seeds or something we will return it, because majority at time till now, since past 6-7 years, we have entire lot we have not none of the lot we have rejected, because everything has met the standards. And payment period is maximum of 2 months. Within 2 months, we are doing the payments to the farmers. And whatever the rejected seeds is there, we will hand over it to the farmer, so that he can use it for feed or some other purposes, animal feed or some other purposes. So there are so many, this is just list of the seed production, what we have done since 14-15, and list goes on. And now we are doing seed production on a very, very large area of almost 50 acres. So there are so many crops we are taking up for. These are just photographs of seed being produced at farmers field. There are so many MSc graduates who are doing seed production, forage crops, MSc agriculture graduates, because what I wanted to highlight, or what I want to bring it to your notice, is that yes, it is one of the important gray area which ensures a handsome profit for any seed producer. Because demand, yeah, you have seen how much gap is there with respect to its demand. So when there is so much of huge gap between demand and supply, why can't you become one of entrepreneur to produce the seed and to supply it to the needy clients? This is see, especially as I told, the niche areas like the pomegranate plantation. In the interspaces of pomegranate is used for seed production, even though the intercropping is not permitted in case of seed production. But since it is what is that, horticulture crop with fodder crops, it's not an issue. There are just photos of this farm. This is hedge lucerne, also called as Desmanthus virgatus, highly it is one of range legume crop, highly drought tolerant, and highly suited for this, especially the goat and small ruminants like this crop very much. Also the lucerne seed production in pomegranate orchards, harvested material. These are the crops which we are doing seed production in these crops. That is Tyloxanthus haemata, sorghum, perennial fodder sorghum. Highest seed production we are doing in this crop, because it is highly demanded crop, and we are doing largest seed production in these crops. Lucerne, hedge lucerne. In case of annuals, we are doing the fodder maize, that is African tall, fodder cowpea. And this year onwards, we are doing the seed production with farmers in drumstick. It is one of nowadays many of the farmers are interested to cultivate fodder tree species. This is dual purpose. It is also a medicinal crop, and its fruits are edible as vegetable, and also one of important fodder crop also. In case of Guinea grass also, we are doing the seed production. This is how Guinea grass seed collection. There is a lot of typicality, as I have told in one of the point. The seed processing or seed collection aspect is very, very typical. In Guinea, we cut the panicle and we keep it in a airtight container, so that in 2 to 3 days, the sweating, there will be sweating due to high moisture content. There will be mold growth, and due to mold growth, the seed separates from the panicle, and after that, we dry the seed under shade and bring it to the storage. See, this is how we put it in a tarpaulin or airtight container, the panicles, and after 2-3 days, we just shed the seed and throw the remaining part of the panicle. Especially just to highlight the seed production aspect, how much profit it is In case of Lucerne, the BCO ratio is 1 rupee invested, you will get 5.5 rupees. Very high return giving crops, especially the seed production. It may be astonishing to know for you all that is there so much of profit in this crop. Yes, of course. That's why there are so many farmers coming forward for seed production in these crops. Um, uh, uh, and the return is very much ensured. And one more advantage is that only in the first year the cost of production is quite higher because of land preparation and all these things. But in the from second year onwards, you will be saving a lot of money from land preparation and all these things. So what are the benefits of this participatory seed production is that the quality seeds of improved varieties are available at right time to the farmers, and improving the seed replacement ratio and varietal replacement ratio as quality seeds of improved varieties spread quickly from farmers to farmers. We always speak about the seed replacement ratio when we speak about the seed technology, especially in case of food crops. Seed replacement ratio, I think you all understand what does it mean. Especially we have presently, I think the seed replacement ratio in cereals and all these 25 to 30%. Whereas in case of fodder crops, the seed replacement ratio is just below 1%. So nowadays we encourage every farmers to purchase new seed and cultivate from new seed, cultivate the crop, grow the new seed. But unfortunately, in other crops, there is we have improved upon the earlier situation, but in case of forage crops, we are really in a very pathetic situation. Seed quality is improved through regular field visit and monitoring by scientists. These are the benefits. As I have told, every information is given to the farmers free of cost. Every information, including our visits. This is ensured because of this. The farmers got the confidence. Farmers realizes that how much sincere we are in the seed production program, and they are happy to do the seed production. And one important fact I want to highlight or share is that whoever has involved with us in seed production, they have never left us seed production in these crops, and every year they have approached us for enhancing the area under seed production in these crops. Farmers get updated knowledge on seed production and post-harvest handling through training, field days, and seed melas. This is a regular feature we conduct at our station with help of university, with help of agriculture department, with help of Krishi Vigyana Kendras. Human research development and thus enhanced employment generation. Yes, it has enabled many farmers to realize a lot of benefit. There are so many success stories which I don't have time to share here. There are so many people, farmers, which they were not having houses. They have constructed houses by realizing profit out of this seed production program. Registered seed producing farmers get 25% higher premium prices over market rates. And here one more option which I wanted to highlight here is that whoever doing the seed production, we have given them another alternative. One that we are going to procure the seed from you at this price, already prefixed price. Another thing what we have told them is that you can sell seed wherever you want if you are getting a higher price than us. This is another important thing or another important liberty which we have given to them. So due to which there is no restriction on the farmers to realize the profit. If we are getting higher price, if somebody is ready to pay, yes, he has the liberty to sell the seed to any person. Then registered seed growers get seed production incentives from, especially this is the important point which I wanted to highlight, that which has not in reality, which should be the reality, but this is the reality in other crops. They should be given some incentive for growing these crops, for making the deficit, reducing the gap deficit in these crops. Recognized seed growers are honored during seed melas in different forums, foundation days, Krishi Melas, and all this. We invite those farmers, we honor them so that the others are motivated and they feel led. So the responsibility lies with all of us those who are dealing with the agricultural policies or agriculture research or production or all the responsibility is with us. The situation is very, very pathetic with regards to the fodder seed in case of our country. And yes, we all belong to one or other religion in our country, and we all worship these animals in one or other way. So by helping to grow a blade of grass is, I personally feel, is a very novel thing. So this is it. I wanted to cover, and thank you very much. And any questions, please let me know.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, this is Venkatesham from Karnataka, sir.
Yeah. Oh, Venkatesh.
Nice presentation, sir.
Oh, yeah, Venkatesh. How are you?
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
You are at Hassan
Sir,
only?
Germination.
Shimoga.
Student, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Tell Venkatesh.
Sir, regarding the germination of Anjan grass and the Guinea grass, we are facing the problem regarding the germination percentage, sir.
Okay. So you want to know how to improve the germination percentage or what?
Yes, how to improve the germination percentage, sir.
See, as I told, the Guinea, in case of Guinea, as per a minimum seed certification standard, the germination percentage is 20 itself, 20 to 30, and we realize the germination percentage up to 35%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One thing what you need to ensure is that proper dormancy, proper period. You need to sow the seed after, I think, 4 to 5 months after harvesting.
Yes,
First
sir.
thing. Second thing, try to do the pelleting with whatever material available. Pelleting with FIM, pelleting with vermicompost, or pelleting with even soil.
Yes, sir.
Third thing, don't do any deep sowing. The very shallow sowing you need to do. Very shallow sowing.
Yes, sir.
Not just 2 to 3 centimeters is more than enough.
Okay, sir.
And certainly, I think there won't be any problem if proper dormancy is broken.
Okay, sir. If you broke
if you want to sow before the crop attains its or crop after the dormancy releases on its own, if you want to sow it before, you need to employ some dormancy breaking treatments like growth regulators and other things are available.
Yes, sir.
There are proven technologies are available.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Venkatesh.
Okay.
Any other question, please?
Hello, good afternoon, sir. I am Dr.
Yes, madam. Good
Dr.
afternoon.
P. Aruna, Assistant Professor, Sri Venkateshwara Veterinary University. Sir,
Yes,
we
madam.
know that good fodder seed supply is very difficult, sir. Suggest me that any good organizations should supply the good quality fodder seeds, sir. Example, guinea grass, drumstick. Sometimes where we will get also so much confusing, sir.
Madam, to tell you, the nearest and the best organization to you is VIM only.
Yes, sir, but we are not approached, not it, sir.
You are not approached. I think there are so many KVKs in Telangana and Andhra. They have taken seed from us. But okay, no problem. But the problem is no agency is doing seed production. IGFRI is doing seed production in majority of forage crops. Apart from the madam, there is a regional fodder seed production station at Bangalore. Hesarghatta, Bangalore. They are doing seed production in majority of these crops, and one more at Central Fodder Seed Production Station, regional fodder station at Hyderabad.
Yes, sir.
You have heard these regional fodder stations?
Sir, Bangalore, I heard, sir.
Bangalore is it is one, and one at Hyderabad, and another one is V. These are the 3 agencies which are, I think, and apart from that, yes, there are few agriculture universities like TNU is doing seed production on majority of the crops. Among the southern agriculture universities, I think TNU is the one. Another one is MPKV Rahuri, Mahatma Phule Vidyapit, Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri. They are doing seed production, and other NGOs. Few NGOs are doing seed production. That is BAF Pune. They are doing seed production.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, these are the agencies. But anytime if you want any seed, because we do seed, as I have shown in the list, we do seed production in those crops. Large quantity of seed production we do in Guinea, in Styloxanthus, in Lucerne, in Hazel Lucerne, in fodder copy, in Dinanath, and little quantity, very little quantity in Styloxanthus scabra, Styloxanthus guyanensis, very little quantity in demonstration plots. With regards to drumstick, madam, I think drumstick, there are one variety is from TNAU, PKM, and another one variety is from, I think, Dharwad, US Dharwad, that is Bhagya. These are the two ruling varieties in the market in our location. I don't know about your place. These two seeds are available anytime. Even Horticulture University at Bagalkot is getting a seed produced as under participatory seed production program only. Thousands of quintals of seed is being produced by the farmers. And I think the seed is sold at the rate of 2,000 rupees per kg in case of drumstick.
Okay, sir. Sir, kindly give me your contact email ID, sir.
Email ID, I have given it on the first slide. I will, yeah, you can note it down.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. This is C.H. Ramakrishna from Telangana Veterinary University, sir, Hyderabad, as assistant professor.
Good afternoon, sir. Please tell me.
Sir, regarding this fodder moringa, it is a variety which is having similar characters like our regular moringa, or having any different qualities?
Actually, it is not fodder moringa. It is common moringa.
Okay. And one more.
No fodder varieties. No fodder moringa varieties released in the market.
Yeah. We tried with our regular, seeds only. But for fodder purpose, it requires more large quantity of the green fodder. So we have to concentrate, the breeders especially concentrate the moringa, which will produce more biomass rather than the seeds, or rather than growing like a tree.
Actually, yeah, your point is true that yes, I think over a period of time the breeder will come out with more foliage yield or more biomass yield, no doubt. But at present, to overcome that deficit, what we are doing or what we are recommending is high density planting. Plant it very, especially maybe 10 inch or 12 inch, very close spacing you plant it, and pollard it or loft it to a particular height up to 4 feet or 5 feet. You cut the head part, then it will be bushy there. It will grow like a bushy plant there, and you will get the sufficient green fodder per unit area. You go for high density planting.
Yeah, and also there is a huge demand for the moringa leaf powder, sir.
Moringa leaf, yes, it is being sold in the market at for other purpose also.
2,000, 3,000 rupees per.
Powder. It is like a medicinal for diabetic, or it is like it is also called as a miracle plant with regards to, I think,
yes.
Yeah, it is also called as miracle plant. That breeder needs to bring out.
Especially.
Yeah, pardon.
Yeah, we have to concentrate more on this kind of crops. It will be useful for human as well as animal consumption. What my
true. But especially, see, now I told you about the moringa drumstick. Another one is lucerne. Lucerne is also like a medicinal plant. Even there are so many farmers in and around us. They cultivate lucerne on a contractual farming, hundreds of hectares. They dry the lucerne dry fodder. They chop it into the powder and they sell it into Himalaya drugs, Jandu Pharmaceuticals, and Dabur Pharmaceuticals. They acquire huge quantity of this lucerne dry fodder for medicinal purpose. Hello.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please. Good afternoon. Tell me.
Sir, this is Dr. Mahesh from KVK Haveri, Hanumatti, sir.
Hanumatti, okay.
I'm a scientist. Sir, some of our contact farmers are facing the COFS 29 seed production, some problems, sir, germination problems. Sir.
Okay. See, since past, I think 6-7 years, we are doing seed production in COFS 29 and 29 especially. It is among all the fodder crops, I think germination in COFS 29 is not at all a problem. Almost 70 to 80% germination we get every time. The crop never failed. Maybe whatever the reason you are telling is maybe mismanagement or something somewhere they might have went wrong. They might have done some deep sowing or something. Just keep it in mind that in majority of the forage crops, the sowing depth should be very, very shallow, very, very shallow. And I don't know why they didn't get proper germination in case of COFS 29. I don't know, because every year we sell around 40 to 50 quintal of seed, and not even, I think, 1 or 2 complaints we may receive. I think not even 1 or 2. If you have to, if they failed in Guinea germination or something else, yes, I would have agreed that there is some problem with the seed itself, but not with the COFS 29.
Sir, any specific processing is there, sir?
Any specific practices, sir?
No, sir. Processing, seed processing, any specific technology is there?
No, not like that. Because since seed processing mechanization or technological involvement in these crops are very, very poor. So what we request for, what farmers do is they do the seed processing as they do with other sorghum crop or other cereal crop. There is no hard and fast, or there is no set standards for processing.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Only thing is, yes, there is a hook. There is a hook with the seed. So the hook doesn't detach very easily. So it needs repeated processing, 2 to 3 processing, which it needs to separate the hook from the seed.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Myself, Dr. Arun Tripathi from Chhattisgarh.
Yeah.
Sir, we are facing here again the germination problem in Barsim.
Okay.
So, please suggest me how to improve the germination in Barsim.
Barsim, it is fresh seed or the type of seed? You are doing seed production or you are collecting from other sources?
In fact, farmers, they purchase the seed from local shopkeepers in northern hills of Chhattisgarh. And then they were facing the germination problem. It is hardly 10% germination.
Okay, 10% germination is very, very less. There are some problem with the germination, maybe due to old seed or something. But another reason of poor germination is in Barsim is that hard seededness. But the hard seededness percentage is just hardly 10 to 15%, not more than that. But I don't know, maybe the seed quality itself is very, very poor. Otherwise, germination, as I told with other crop, the germination percentage in Barsim is not a issue, I think. Not at all an issue. Whenever we have grown Barsim, we have got, I think, almost 70% germination.
Sir, source of seed collection.
Like Lucerne.
We are from farmers, the nearest center for the seed of Barsim.
Nearest center, it is better to approach IGFRI. I tell you, IGFRI does a very high quantity of seed production, and they sell it at very cheaper rate. IGFRI Jhansi.
Yes, sir. Okay.
IGFRI Jhansi, and they do a huge quantity of Barsim seed production.
Okay.
And you will get very recently released varieties also.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hello, Dr. Vinay sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Hello. This is Ali Hussain from Bhimawar, Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah, tell me, please go ahead.
Hello.
Abhishek,
Sir, is there any special methodology for organically?
I think your audio disconnected. Organically?
I think there's some problem with the connection of Abhishek.
Yeah. I think he want to know organic seed production, or I don't know what he wanted to know. He just disconnected at the right time. But majority of fodder seed is produced organically only. Very few people apply fertilizer. As I told, very few farmers devote their resources.
Hello,
Any
sir.
other question?
Sir, presently we are cultivating CFS 29 sorghum variety, sir. So it is giving very good yield, sir. Sir, any other improved variety is there than this, sir?
Madam, TNAU has released one more variety in this series, that is COFS 31. That is actually COFS 29 only, but it is a mutant. They have given what is that gamma ray radiation, and they have got some mutant, and they released it as a COFS 31. The difference, yes, of course, as per the TNU literature, the difference is that 31 is better over 29 in everything. But one more advantage is that they say that COFS 31 is seed shedding tolerant. It doesn't shed seed. And it is a higher seed, as I told, it is better over 29 with respect to everything. Plus, the seed shedding or seed shattering losses is very minimal in COFS 31.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Any further questions?
Any questions?
Sir, I think we overshot our time due to some technical issues at the beginning. I thank you from the core of our heart on behalf of the NADCL as well as on behalf of the participants for being with us and enlightening us with such wonderful thoughts and such knowledge. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks one and all for your patient hearing, and a very large number of participants participated in discussion also. And really, we at IGFRI are ready to collaborate with any one of you, are ready to extend the technology, ready to supply the seed material. But my request to all of you, since many of you are very young, I think assistant professor or students, so many scholars, PhD scholars are there. Yes, of course, it is, as I have told, responsibility is ours. Wherever possible, whatever possible, I request you to create the niches. Means like one madam has asked that where to get the seed. People should not get this question, should not come into their mind that where to get the seed. Seeds should be available everywhere. We don't want to be the monopoly. We don't want to be a very single player in this. We want to create different packets at different colleges, at different universities, different KVKs. And one thing is I rest assure you that profit is guaranteed. 100% profit is guaranteed if you are profit oriented also, because everybody now want to know that what they will get in return. So my thing is that yes, it is these are highly remunerative crop, and these are all in a very high demand in market. They are in very high demand, and why can't we should be demand driven? So I don't know how many of you belongs to different disciplines. Maybe your land is available or not, whatever. If your land is not available at your institute, you go for participatory seed production or whatever mode. But try to intervene. Try to show your existence. Try to improve the situation, especially in case of fodder crops, so that at the end it will benefit the very poorest of the poor farmers, because the animal livestock holders or livestock rearing farmers are the poorest of the poor in the society, and majority of these farmers they don't have any resources like land, higher land, or land holding is very less. So kindly intervene and kindly help them to get more profit over through this livestock rearing. Thank you so much, and hopefully in the coming days many of you will approach IGFRI for more collaborations or more information or something else.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for those beautiful words and insight. We'll also look forward for collaboration. Also, participants are requesting the PPT. Please share the PPT with us so that on YouTube video we'll be able to share the PPT also with them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, one and all.
Okay, participants, we may all leave and join back tomorrow with a new session. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay.